and sunglasses. So they do everything. Amazing.
Okay. An error occurred. Oh, it's on my Facebook. All right. So it looks like we're good on Twitch and Substack, but Facebook is having a problem. Let's see.
That's because those bastards are.
I just got the announcement that you're live.
Yeah.
Is now where would we see the audience? Is it on the right hand or is it on the bottom?
It'll be on the right hand side. The chat's always on the right hand side.
Okay. Hey, what if something awful about Trump comes out?
Hey,
what is there any other thing about?
No, absolutely not.
You mean what if something Trump comes out?
That's why I have to know whether.
You mean whether to announce it or not?
You know, have you?
Yeah, I got chat set up.
During the day, we're all going to have PTSD horribly because during the day we go through our day and we're like, "What has that fucker done now? What the fuck has he done now?" All day long, and you get
I wake
home
up
and then
and open my eyes and think, "Oh Jesus!"
You turn on the news to see what he's fucking with now.
Okay, we are live on Substack. I just went ahead and removed Facebook because it was being a son of a bitch.
Facebook's not it, honestly. Meta's not having it these
don't
days.
You think that we're competing with the Super Bowl and people might be too busy?
Yeah. That too. I've got it on the TV. Seattle's up by 6. Patriots have none.
Let me see.
So that makes me happy.
Yeah, and even if we are competing with Super Bowl, we don't get a lot live. We can just we get more traction on the reposts. So
yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I am going to put it on my TV on mute, though.
Yeah.
So I poured water on my TV remote last week, and I now have to use a remote that's on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually kind of easier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Years ago, my daughter dropped my TV remote in a bowl of tomato soup. It never did recover.
Yeah,
mine always go in the sheets, never to be returned ever again.
Oh, I have one of those in my bedroom on my bedroom TV. Yeah, I can't find the remote anywhere.
Yeah. I actually custom programmed my TV remote with Chromecast and everything, so I can only use it. I can use it with my TV, but I can always use it with every other screen I have at my disposal. And it makes noise. I can just go like, "Where's my remote?" and it will ring.
Yeah,
that's cool. So where is the
what?
It's airing on CBS, but I'm playing it through Peacock.
Hey, Courtney and Ginger, welcome. We have 2 more in chat. Hello, peoples.
Is that on Twitch or is that on
Substack? I got Substack up.
Nice.
How come I can't see them?
Well, I don't see them either, but there's always a delay between how we're streaming and then what shows up on Substack. So don't look at both because you'll get confused.
Oh, yeah, I'm not looking at both, but I'm not seeing anybody in chat. Are you?
No, I'm not either.
Okay. All right.
But say hi.
Come on, phone.
Man, I might have to take this sweater off. Who's in here? Courtney and who?
Courtney and Ginger, welcome.
All right, I'm gonna hit some hearts, get that algorithm going.
Oh yeah.
I went on to Tig. I went on to your Substack live because it's the easiest way for me to see the chat if I go onto someone else's.
Hey, everybody remember it's Valentine's 14th.
Oh,
yeah. I know. Yeah. Boo. Well, Brad has a significant other, so.
Even when I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But hey, to each his own.
You do it at first.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. My dating life is that of a saucy parabola. I don't
in
do love
my
triangles. I do love parabolas.
when I was married, it all went into
Tracy
the
gets that joke.
it all went into the box of trouble.
Yep.
Ah,
Every
math
birthday,
jokes.
every
See, I can't.
anniversary.
Y'all
Even the one,
do it
even the
that
ones
way.
before we got married, would be like just stocked in this little box, and then when it come that date, it'd be like, do you know what today is? Yes, it's your Valentine.
You have a stock of gifts for when you forget.
No, but I got a hell of an excuse.
What?
I forgot. If you knew me better, you'd totally understand that.
Yeah. See, I've known Brad for like 30 years plus.
If I say I forgot, that means I meant to bring it, and I actually did forget it.
All right.
You gotta get on Twitch where all the cool kids are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, get on your Twitch. Is that what you're saying you're gonna do?
No, I'm just repeating what I just posted in chat. Because Courtney said, "Is that on Twitch?"
See, I
wait,
can
in
see no
quotation, oh,
chat.
Sushi, I barely know what Twitch even is.
I can't see what
Goldie,
you
that I'm not cool.
No,
said
you're
in
good,
chat.
Tracy. Evie's in the chat.
Oh, how come I can't see anybody?
You're okay.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, you're fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Today's episode is a part 2 on addiction. Our guest this week is Tracy, or Lefty Prof. Nero could not be here tonight because of some ailments, so we're having last week's guest, Mr. Brad Allen, sit in for Nero. He is going to continue to be our sub co-host. So if there's any time where Tig or Nero can't join us, Brad will be sitting in for us. Yeah. All right, Tig,
That's
why don't
awesome
you
with
go
the
ahead
reserves.
and continue on with our verbal disclaimer.
Okie doke. Here, I got a folder written out. Let me pull it up.
What is? Oh, I think I have this. Oh my God, look. Sorry.
Oh, you're good, Tracy.
Okay, there we go. Gosh, you can even see into my kitchen.
Ah! Don't worry about it. No one cares.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Did I just pass out? I swear to God, I spun.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I did. I spun you out. I did.
Okay, and all right, there it is. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Mind Haven. We have our weekly communal discussion on mental health. Quick disclaimer though before we begin. None of us are mental health professionals. We're not here we're not peer group, we're not psychologists, we're none of that. We're here talking about mental health from our experiences and as well as just reflecting on our humanity and the world as a whole, because mental health is human health and humans are complicated creatures. So if you have anything, if you have any crisis, I highly recommend you look at the down bar below and you can call, text 988 if you need it. But other than that, we're all just here to have an open discussion and an open, full disclosure discussion on mental health. And with that, and no further ado, let's get started.
Okay. So Lefty, we're going to start off. This is about your story. So we know that you were in active addiction and have been sober for quite some time. So why don't you go ahead and let everyone know all about that?
Okay. Well, I often joke that I was, when I was born, I was in addiction just looking for a place to land because I am so genetically primed. But I have several alcoholics in my family. My father, who died when he was 70 from liver disease, and my brother is in active addiction right now. So it was certainly something I grew up around. My first addiction wasn't a substance, it was food.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a regular, normal drinker. You know, I bought alcohol when we had parties, but other than that, it wasn't in the house most of the time. And then I had a gastric bypass in 2000. And I didn't know this at the time, but there's something like between 60 and 70% of people who had the early, this was before they even made you go to counseling, or that, you know, right now they make you do 6 months of dieting and counseling and all of that. It was so early when it came out that I didn't get any of that. So I didn't know that 60 to 70% of people who got those early bypasses actually became addicted to another substance, alcohol specifically, a high number of them. And that's when it started. So when I couldn't feed the food addiction and I lost a bunch of weight, I was kind of malnourished. And that's when alcohol became dangerous for me. And the problem got bad quickly. Because of course, alcoholism is just a symptom, right? The
larger issue.
Yeah, it's and so is the weight, right?
Yeah.
Very similarly, the weight is. I mean, I call my weight my shield, because even when I lost all my weight, I then became really uncomfortable with the attention and really pissed off that people who didn't see me before I lost weight all of a sudden were interested. So it had the opposite. It didn't solve any problems. It created more. So had I had that decision to make again, I probably would have made a different decision. But so the alcoholism, I was my partner at the time, she had addiction problems in her past, but it wasn't alcohol. So she and I both, if you've ever been in a relationship as an active addict with somebody who's active in their addiction as well,
lots of conflict.
It's not pretty at all.
Yeah.
So at that time, my son was about 12. And it got, the police were called. I mean, it was just that chaos of alcoholism. I think at one time, the police were called, and my partner and I were in the living room naked, wrestling each other. So,
that kind of hot mess.
That kind of hot mess. There,
like a Lifetime movie kind of hot mess.
Exactly. Thank God there was no bed that burned. But I don't. Y'all are not old enough to know about the burning bed. That anyway. There was a movie called The Burning Bed, and it was about a wife who lit her husband on fire.
Yeah.
There was a reference to it in like the Florence and a song by Florence and the Machine. Honestly, Kiss with the Fist. The Burning Bed.
I think The Burning Bed was out when $6 Million Man was.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm 55, so yeah.
Yeah,
55 I was born in 70, so
67.
Oh yeah. Wow, you look great, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's that new liver.
Never guessed that.
It's liver.
Yeah, new liver.
I got a liver transplant, and it's crazy.
Wow,
I think it's like the fountain of youth. I think everybody should get one.
Everybody should just get a new liver.
Oh my God.
I think
it's probably my 50, lungs that are going to need replacement.
When you hit 50, if everybody gets a new liver, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. We can live to 100, but I'm not sure.
At least give your old one, if you haven't drank, give your old one to somebody that's really fucked.
Yeah.
And then get a new one.
Yeah.
Isn't it true that they can take a portion of liver and grow it in?
Regenerate it.
Yeah. That's like you don't need somebody's whole liver.
Yeah, it depends on the person. Because
when Trump's gone and we redesign this country, I'm going to run for something.
You should run now.
But yeah. Except
where do you live?
I want to go in with some education.
Yeah, do
Crazy,
your
I
homework
know,
first. Get
you
yourself.
know,
Honestly, that's why you're like. It's a pretty good thing that you're on Substack with us. Honestly, you're building that platform first,
yeah,
getting yourself notarized, and building yourself a movement, and then you go and run for office and win and kick ass.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but going back to what you were saying earlier,
So
Casey, with
once that situation became untenable, and I kicked her out of the house, I started going to therapy because clearly that's what I needed and not a bottle. And this, no other therapist has done this, but the guy that I went to see, and I normally don't go to men either, but it was a gay man. So, you know, at least he wasn't an asshole like a lot of white men are, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
especially therapists.
Especially right now.
Yeah. So, his condition on he had a really long waiting list, so it was almost like an audition when you went in there. And he told me at the end, you know, the good news is I'm going to take you on as a patient. The bad news is that you have to be sober because it's completely pointless if you're not sober.
Yeah.
So he told me he wouldn't let me make an appointment until I was 30 days sober. And then I was able to make my first appointment. And it was very intense therapy. And I slipped up twice during the therapy, and he would send me out for 30 days. So my punishment for falling into the trap was that I wouldn't
A little
see him
longer.
for 30, which seems kind of assward to me now, right? Because if you've slipped up, you probably need therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably it's
Yeah,
it's a really kind of
well,
backwards
so-
thing is because like it doesn't always address like strategy, like it doesn't always address the root problem.
Yeah.
I mean, if alcoholism became the replacement for your ED essentially, because that's what it was, honestly, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was binge eating.
Yeah.
It was you lose the weight, but it doesn't solve the problem of the ED. It doesn't solve that problem of that dopamine pipeline essentially. So you latch onto alcohol instead. But waiting to get treatment for that same neurological pipeline sober first, and then you go into treatment, that doesn't that's honestly what holds a lot of programs back, especially like homelessness outreach. It's like you can't like it's a neurological shift in the way that things are supposed to operate, and that is something that needs to be addressed first and foremost. And it can, of course, you have like a lot of other things that can happen at the same time. You can work on the psychotherapy, the emotional sociological kind of things along with alcoholism. It doesn't have to be one thing at a time, because it's very rarely layered that way. It's all kind of networked and interchangeable.
On one hand, I understood, because obviously the therapy wasn't going to work as long as I was in active addiction, right? Because, you know, like he said it's not about not doing something. It's about replacing it with something that will help you move forward. So it actually did keep me sober. I mean, like I said, in the very beginning, I had 2 slip-ups where I drank one night each of those times. And then after that, I didn't. And that's what started my first 5-year stretch of sobriety. I promised my son that I would not drink again while he was in high school, because I was still at the stage where I was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to get this under control, and then I'm going to be a regular drinker again. You know, I'll be able to drink. No.
I can stop it whenever I feel like
it. Yeah. It was I mean,
I got to tell you, I think they, I've seen this. I've been in rehab also.
Mm-hmm.
And so they kick people out of the program, which extends it for 30 days. Kind of go home and think about it and do their screwing up, and then go realize I got to be in here. And I mean, I don't have any proof of this, but I think therapists may extend to stay that way. You know what I mean? Because they know you have more issues than what you're going to be able to solve in 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
So they add they let you go home and think about it, and then you start another month, and then insurance really pays for it that way too.
Well,
It's
I
kind
did
of like a furlough
outpatient
technique, honestly.
Yeah, I did a during that. So I stayed with that therapist for that entire 5 years that I was sober. Then my son graduated from school, and he went off to college. And at that time, I lived in Florida, um, which I hate. I hated that whole experience. I was there for 10 years,
Oh,
and
Florida.
that's where all of my family is. So,
Dexter.
huh?
Dexter.
Dexter, the show.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't?
Where's he at
Are you
right
familiar?
now?
It is. I also lived in Texas for a short while, and I ran screaming from that state, swearing I would never ever cross the state line again, and I haven't. Right.
Oh, Texas.
Texas and Florida, they're like the worst. I mean, and every state in between them.
Every state in between them is a various
my
stage
boy
of
was in Arkansas in it's kind of a national park. Where? Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Hot Springs, Arkansas.
I've driven through Arkansas,
so
but never.
I didn't see one political sticker, no flags, no Southern flags anywhere, nothing like that. When he moved there, I was like, God, dude, I'm gonna buy you a banjo.
So, unfortunately, even after that 5 years of sobriety, which was a lot of, during that time, I worked through a lot of stuff. It was really intense, but I felt like I had, dealt with some of the stuff that needed to be unpacked. And when my son went to college, I wasn't, and I've said this to Dana, because she's going through this right now, and I've said it in the chat many times, that when he went to school unexpectedly, was not expecting at all, I went through the worst identity crisis ever in my life. And I my therapist had diagnosed me with depression, but what was it? There was an M word before it.
Manic.
No, it wasn't manic depression. Major depression. That major depression disorder. That's what it was. Yeah. So for the whole 5 years I was with him, and then towards the end when Josh left, it was the first time he saw me manic, and then he changed my diagnosis to bipolar, and bipolar also runs in my family.
Yeah, and I'm bipolar too. Just like last December, I just got diagnosed at 54.
And they have to see proof of a mania. And it wasn't until I was in therapy that I realized I really had gone through mania, but I didn't recognize. Like when I was in grad school doing my master's program, I was the president of Sigma Tau Delta. I was the president of the English graduate student organization. We put on this huge AIDS benefit, and I got 2 hours of sleep at night. And I didn't recognize it then at the time. But also, that was also when I left my husband. That's also when I had the gastric bypass. So I do really life-changing shit when I get manic. Mania is more dangerous for me than depression.
Yeah, me too.
So, and I will spend every freaking dime in anybody else. I mean, it's real, but it feels really good. Like mania is like, woo,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't go into psychosis at all where, you're like, but
I get really artsy.
So manic can actually be fun if you were skiing or mountain biking or something like that.
Well, I get really artsy. I start making art everywhere. At the time, I still lived in Florida. When Josh left, I just really I launched into a mania, the most severe I've ever had. And by 6 months later, I was in a U-Haul truck. I had quit my tenured professor's position, was in a U-Haul truck and drove to Seattle, where I had never, ever been before. Moved my ass all the way. I drove from Florida to Seattle in 3.5 days.
Oh, good God.
By myself in a 27-foot U-Haul with a car in tow behind me. So
sounds very similar to my story as well.
Do you move? Do you change your address when you go manic? Because I change my address. Like
I don't change my address, but going back to when I was in my mid-20s, it was like 1995, and my life was going nowhere. I dropped out of college, and I decided I already had met a bunch of people in Utah, in Ogden, and I just up and packed my car as much as I could with my stuff. I had a Toyota Corolla station wagon and my dog Jed, and drove and landed in Ogden and just said, "I'm here."
Let's go.
Now I loved Seattle. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. Yeah, it's a
I was made to live in Seattle, and I really
Doesn't it
do
rain
wish
all the
that I
time?
already did. It does not rain. It does rain. They have
like
the highest.
seasons.
They have one of the highest rainfall amountages, but it's very misty. It's more like mist. And they will tell you that if you carry an umbrella in Seattle, that's how they know you're not a native, because the natives don't carry umbrellas.
Yeah, it's a German kind of way of thinking about it. No such thing as bad clothes. No such thing as bad weather. Only bad clothes.
My curly hair was like super tight. It turned into a helmet.
Yes, I mean, I had the best time, but I was manic, so I cashed out my 401k, quit my tenured position, went to Seattle. I had a cousin that lived. I lived right outside of Seattle in Bremerton, which is where the naval base is there. So I was 2 blocks away from the ferry. I'd hop on the ferry, spend the day in Seattle. That's how I like to be near a big city. I like to be big city adjacent, you know, but I don't like the big city living in it, you know. So
no, I like to watch them on TV.
Yeah. You live outside of, where are you now, Sushi?
About 30 miles north of Salt Lake City.
Okay.
I am. And then Brad's in
I'm in Montrose, Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay.
Telluride, and
I have
15 minutes out of Manhattan.
I have friends in Colorado. Anyway, so when that happened, I found myself in Seattle. I started drinking again. I started going to a local bar, and you know how dangerous local bars can be for an addiction. So while I wasn't blacking out like I had been before I stopped, it didn't take me long to get right back where I was. Right. That's always the case, right? It's a lesson I tell every addict that I speak to, that you can't start over again. You're never going back on the intensity of your addiction, ever. You're never, ever, you're going to start right where you were again, and it's just going to get worse, you know?
Blackout's a shitty way to wake up.
You know, I still today, I found this funky little house, and I paid like 6 months rent up front before I went, because like I said, I cashed out my 401k. I decided my parents, all my family lived in Florida. I told them all I hated them and never wanted to see them again. It's like the last thing I said to my parents before I left the state.
They were probably aware of your condition though, right?
My mom actually called the police.
Yeah.
And tried to get me committed. But weirdly enough, my therapist said, go. He didn't say, I think you're manic. He didn't say it, because I really did not know I was manic. I did not realize, I didn't understand it when it was happening. So I was really surprised that my therapist told me to go. But I think his thinking was that my family was so toxic for me that getting away from my family was worth whatever happened, I guess. I don't know if he failed me or not.
I think it was I don't know. Maybe it was
there's a lot of chaos.
You gotta learn the hard way, one of these things, but also I think it was like a mix of both. Like if you gotta do something drastic to get out of get away from someone, like a really toxic situation, and that initial
grew up
that initial like spurt that comes in, it's life changing.
I fought that alongside of her for years.
Yeah, my family, I have an incredibly toxic, an incredibly difficult and challenging relationship with my mother. I have, since I was sexually molested at 8 years old. She handled it in every way wrong that you can. You said everything that you just never say, did everything that you just never do. And it was from my brother. So for most of my adult life, I had just, I went to the family events. I acted like it didn't happen. My mom caught him in the act and read the Bible to us about incest.
Oh,
good.
And that was the dealing with it. Now, since then, I have found out, like I said, my dad's dead, but I have found out since he died that he molested his sister. So I don't know what happened in our house.
I wonder that chain went back a ways.
No doubt, right? Because my grandparents, my father's parents, were devout Catholics, and you children were to be seen, not heard. You absolutely didn't air your dirty laundry in public. So I never knew that.
They didn't do that back then. I mean, they just didn't do that back then.
It was a secret, and you were expected to go to your grave with it. So all of that I was trying to deal with. I left Florida and sort of rejected my family entirely. So I was by myself, except for my cousin and his wife that were there, and they helped a lot. But I was by myself. I found this funky little house, and ironically, the house was right next to a church that had the most heavily attended AA meetings in the city that I lived in. And I never went to one, but I would sit outside and listen through the fence when they would all come out to smoke and listen to their conversations and stuff. But I was still drinking. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't blacking out at the time, but I was gearing up for returning to my previous glory. It got pretty bad in Seattle. I went about a year before the money ran out, before, I was a transcriptionist at the time. I worked from home. The being out there by myself started to really, really get to me. And ultimately, it ended with me in my car with a hose attached to the tailpipe into the car. And honest to God, I'm going to laugh now, but I shouldn't. I should be dead. And the only reason I'm not is because you can't light a cigarette in a car with no oxygen in it. So I kept rolling down the window so I could light the cigarette. I was in that bitch for 3 hours.
Oh my God. It's like you wonder like, am I cursed? Am I cursed with immortality? This is such horseshit.
You lived in Seattle during the grunge. My shit there, man.
Yeah, I
and so
like...
and Seattle there's always been a lot of drugs in Seattle.
Yeah. I mean,
and a lot of alcohol.
And the bar that I had adopted as my neighborhood bar was a Submariner bar.
That'd be cool.
So it was all Navy. It was all, and it really did. But again, I never went there and didn't drink. So eventually after the attempt, which I thought I had gotten away with, but apparently I had called my mother, and I guess I was still sort of out of it, right? Because the carbon dioxide would build up, and then I smoked a cigarette. And I called my mom during that time period, and I woke up in my bedroom. I don't remember leaving the car. My mom had called the police, and when the police came over, I'm in the house, and they walk in, and unfortunately I had left my garage door open, and I had wrapped the hose around my tailpipe with bright pink duct tape. So when the cop walked out into my front yard and looked back, that's what he saw, was that bright pink color, and he went to investigate it, which of course meant I was going to the hospital with him. So
busted.
Yeah. I was like,
MacGyver would be disappointed in you.
I know. Like, damn, Tracy, you should have taken the damn.
I'm so thankful that you found the pink duct tape and not the clear tape.
Yeah.
Right.
The weld tape.
Or not even like they're leaving the electrical tape, like the black electrical tape. That would have honestly, oh my god.
And I had attempts before. When I was 18, I call it an attention getting attempt, right? I took pills that were never going to kill me, but I needed attention. And that's what well, they locked me up that time when I was 18, back when they still had mental institutions, state mental institutions. And then, like I said, because at that time I wasn't in active addiction except for the food, right? Which of course nobody ever called addiction.
Right.
Yeah.
They just say you're fat. So yeah.
Nobody had ADHD either.
Nobody had ADHD.
I have ADHD.
Nobody had
too.
autism.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I have ADHD too. I'm trying to go without medication right now because my blood pressure is high. So stimulants don't do good things with high blood pressure. So so when I got taken to the hospital, my God, I was an obnoxious little piece of shit in that hospital. They locked me in this room all by myself, of course. And I just started counting out loud, screaming at the top of my lungs. Can I have some water? It's been 1, 2, 3. And I would count. It's been 89 seconds since I asked for water. Where's my water? I can't even imagine what the people who were in the emergency room that night.
I can. I've had a shared experience with similar
that's probably
things.
their entertainment.
Oh, I'm sure, because I did not let up. I could barely speak the next day because I was screaming. I'm very loud. So the next day though, because Seattle has such a great support system and safety net. When I left, they let me go the next day. I told, I was completely honest with the psychiatrist. I said, I've never been medicated for mania. He said, you absolutely need this. I'm on Lamictal, which is, the mood stabilizer, and then an antidepressant. So is that your combo?
I have I have lamotrigine, clonidine.
That's what it is. Lamictal and lamotrigine are the same thing.
Yeah, and then I have duloxetine, which is Cymbalta.
That's what I take. We're on the same cocktail, girl.
I
We have
take
the same
Duloxetine.
cocktail.
Hey, we're Deluxe team.
Yeah. It's Cymbalta is basically what it is.
Cymbalta.
Yeah, it's various forms of Cymbalta, but
And lamotrigine and Lamictal are the same thing.
It's the same. Yeah, one's the generic name. And
yeah.
One's the brand name.
By the time I left the hospital the next day, I had my first prescription of that medication. I had an appointment with a therapist, and I had an appointment for someone to come visit me at my home twice in the next week.
Okay.
So again, if I had not been in Seattle, if I'd been here in Virginia, that would have been a whole different story. It's not how it would have happened. So once I got on the lamotrigine, that is the life. Like, you will pry my Lamictal from my cold, dead hands, because it absolutely changed everything for me. And I'm still on, that same cocktail. And what it does is it shrinks your emotional range. So you no longer have the high highs and you no longer have the lower lows. So it just kind of keeps you right here. Now I will occasionally, because I do have a cycle, and I now know what what that cycle is, as far as like in the fall is usually when mania comes. Now I will feel the mania, right? Because I know when I start, like when I get a real craving to make some art, and not that I don't do art at other times, but it's like a need that I have to make some art. Then I know that the mania is coming, but it'll give me like a week of creative. I'm like one with nature. I have energy. I don't need sleep. I don't need food. I go out and wander. You know?
I go
I am
do some
totally
colors of the
talking to my little
wind.
sister right
Yeah. I mean,
Oh my God.
so it's a really nice mania because, you know, none of the bad stuff happens. And I get that energy boost and dopamine boost for a week, but it always keeps it from going too far, you know?
I need to write down that cocktail you said, because I'm going to hit my sister up on that.
It's lamotrigine. So
Lamosa?
LAMOTRI.
Volume went off.
Oh,
Hey, Brad.
Bracky.
Brad, can you hear us?
Can you
I
hear
can
us,
hear Brad, but he's saying he can't hear us.
Can you hear us, Brad? No.
I don't.
Here.
I think Brad's. I think your audio has been off this entire time. I don't
Oh,
think he's
yeah,
able
because
to
he
hear
keeps
us.
talking over people.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to kick him.
I heard him right until he said I lost audio.
Yeah, I'm going to kick him and then he can rejoin. Anyway, yeah. Hey, Lefty, you know, the way you're talking, it's just like deja vu for me, like everything. But go ahead and, you know, I think all of this kind of melts together with your addiction. That's what it was for me. Yeah, I mean, you know, bipolar, they tend to be addicts. And
when I finally decided, I'll be sober 5 years on June 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
What led me there was, you know, I came back from Seattle. Obviously, a lot of shit happened after Seattle. I spent 3 years on the West Coast. I rented a house with some friends of mine who moved from Colorado to California. We all moved to California together. You should not do that if you don't know all the people that you're roommating with. I knew one.
Yeah.
And I really, you know, her and I were really good friends, but the other two, another story. So that was over after a year. I came back. My son came out to California and we drove across country, which was a great trip. And I came back to Virginia this time. So, which is my home state. It's where I was born. Definitely didn't go back to Florida. So my drinking, I started seeing someone who was a drinker. Got bad real quick, got my first and only DUI.
Oh.
Got into an argument with somebody one night, was drunk, jumped in my car and said, apparently this is what I announced before I left the house, was I'm going to take a picture of the sunrise from Shenandoah Valley in Northern Virginia, which was about 3.5 hours away. So I got in my car and drove on the interstates. Thank God didn't kill anybody. Got lost and wound up in a neighborhood in somebody's driveway. They called the police. The police came. I still had a can of, I think I was drinking malt liquor. One of those drinks, those mixed drinks.
Oh yeah, they're like the fruity type, but they're not really like.
And they'll knock you on your ass. It's like 15. The alcoholic that I was dating was like, it's 15% alcohol. That's why
it's one of those drinks you start drinking when to get the feeling rather than like the taste and the experience of like, or the community you get from drinking. Yeah, that's how you escalate essentially. Like your drinks your choice of drink will change as you seek more, as you increase tolerance more and more and more.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that ex-boyfriend of mine, he and I'm bisexual, so you'll hear me say she and he.
All here for the queers.
Yeah, exactly. I'm definitely queer.
Yeah.
I'm the least straight person in my house.
I'm gay. I'm gay. I like women.
Yeah.
I am the pan.
Apparently women like you too, buddy. You're married.
Yeah, I am the pansexual. I do guys, girls, everything in between.
That's right.
If it has a pulse.
It's a spectrum. It's a spectrum.
Yeah.
Now I have now, of course, convinced myself that my picker is broken. So it is just the closed sign is up. My picker is broken. I can only pick narcissists. And so I've hung the picker up.
Yeah. I think that all goes with bipolar. I think so. Like we might be related in some way.
I think it's an interesting one, honestly, because what I find like more and more is that like queerness is not like it's not a minority in the way it was thought to previously. I think the vast majority of humans on Earth are bisexual with preferences.
It's on that spectrum somewhere.
Yeah, it's all on that spectrum, and it's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing with like mental health in a way. You have like I'm on the autism spectrum, but I'm also like ADHD as well. So I have that chaos gremlin mindset combined with an IQ in the 180s. It's a dangerous combination, especially when I get bored.
Yeah, I wish I was dumb. Because my mind is always going at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and that is not stopped, even though I'm sober. Even that's the ADHD, and I think I'm going to medicate as soon as I get my blood pressure under control.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I get with 1,000,000 miles an hour. I think that's where I feel comforted in because I'm currently not on any medication for what I'm dealing with. I'm on the autism ADHD, of course, but I also have one of the most severe cases of complex PTSD my therapist has ever seen. And it's a bad one because I wouldn't have had the PTSD if not for the mental health system that I was falsely misdiagnosed with bipolar and everything in the third. Like I was like heavily like medically abused with the mental health system. I was given the Rosemary Kennedy treatment.
Well, and being Black added to that too, right?
Yeah, complete with like immigrant parents that you have a white man, a white black code. You tell them to do something, you do it. That's basically how it went. And
immigrant parents would have also.
Growing up in Utah, if you were growing up in Utah,
it was a weird one, honestly.
Conversion therapy.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky I'm in New York, but at the same time, because I'm in New York, a lot of these cases go unreported simply because, the parents are just caring for your mentally disabled child that will never leave the house and never leave the basement, essentially. You have so many kids that grow up just being Quasimodo or the kid under the stairs. And
that was literally said on TV, just that by somebody.
It's bad. And I like honestly like because like that bipolar false diagnosis and because like CPTSD, when you have trauma going back so early on in age, it looks a lot similar. You get the highs, you get the lows, you get those spurts of anger, you get those breaks of rage. And it's often very easy to pass that off or just like misinterpret that as like bipolar, as like a neural, as a actual like chemical deficiency, whatever the hell. Simply because even though it's a rational response to the trauma at hand. And
he diagnosed me with PTSD also based on the childhood sexual abuse. And the way he explained it to me was really interesting. It's why I stayed with him, because no one had ever said it to me before. And of course I had been in therapy and I had told, that story over and over again. But what he said to me was that there's three kinds of sexual abuse. There's the rape we think of, like, the stranger pulls you into an alley, rapes you and runs away. Then there is coercion, and then there's seduction. And those are generally people and what doesn't happen with a violent rape is your sexual light may not get turned on. Your body and your mind are much more likely to treat it as a physical assault. So like you got into a car accident, right? And so you may not be full on sexualized in that moment when the sexual abuse happens in that way. With coercion and seduction, it does happen in that way. So at 8.5 years old, my sexual light got turned on and there's no turning it off anymore. And of course I'm 8.5 and have absolutely no skills for understanding that. My brother wasn't much older than me. He was 11. And for most of my life, I understood that the environment that we were in is what allowed this to happen. Not just neglect from my parents, but my childhood was my dad was an alcoholic. He was a cheater, a serial cheater. My mother would wake us up at 2:00 in the morning because he was at a mud hole with his friends getting drunk with his girlfriend. And she would wake us up, put us in the car in our pajamas, take us to the mud hole, which was absolute chaos and craziness. My brother remembers my mom waking him up one night and they were waiting for my dad to come home and they were both sitting on the stairs. My mom with a shotgun aimed at the front door. And she made my brother sit there with her. you know, or she'd wake us up in the middle of the night just to look at the driveway.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, it's chaos upon chaos upon
Yes.
chaos.
Yeah.
And that
so
alone
for
will,
most of
like,
my life, the problem was that my brother also brought some friends.
yeah.
So that's the part that I can't forgive and that I'm still stuck on. I understand. And my brother also manifested in this marriage. He raped his wife. He, you know, it wasn't just me. It was that toxic masculinity stew that my father was a swinging dick. He was a short man. He had a Napoleon complex. Although now they say Napoleon wasn't actually that short.
He was average height for the time period, which given was he was still short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like
He was
5'6"
still a short
or
king.
5'7" or something like that.
No,
But
it was
my dad
5'4",
had all
actually.
that. My dad had all that. You know, he was
Narcissism?
yes, absolutely. So I was raised by two. No, I mean, my mom went to visit family one summer. I was probably 10. And we got sent to the babysitters across the street during the day. Well, we came back to the house. It was just right across the street. So we went back to the house to get some game that we had forgotten. And we pull up the garage. And one of my dad was a restaurant manager. One of my dad's 16-year-old waitresses was in the house with him having sex. So that's the kind of stew that I got steeped in, and my brother got steeped in. No doubt we were both victims of that chaos. I now don't talk to my brother. It's just too much for me. It's just too much. And on top of the way that my mother dealt with it. So when I came back to Virginia, I got to drinking again. I got the DUI, which, by the way, is so freaking expensive. It was like $12,000 before.
Oh my gosh.
Done. It was, whoo, never, ever. That'll never happen. Don't do it. Really, don't do it. I had to wait until I was like 45, 47 to get a DUI, you know?
Yeah.
But I still didn't quit drinking after the DUI. And the house that I live in now, I lived in with that person that was an alcoholic. I finally got him out of the house. I knew that wasn't, you know, we've known each other all our lives. So it was just way too toxic. Got him out. And then I started drinking alone. And I would wake up and not have any memory. I was completely blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one day, this was June 11th of 21. Yeah, 21. I came downstairs and I knew the night before that I had bought 2 bottles of wine, and there's never alcohol left, right? So one is too much and one is never enough. So I woke up in bed. I knew I had blacked out. I came downstairs, and when I came into my kitchen, there were 6 empty bottles of wine on my kitchen counter, which meant that I had gone, and the receipts were there. I had gone back to the store.
The
got
dogs.
mine going now.
Got your dog.
Okay, Munchie. Hey, Munchie, it's okay. It's okay. It's on TV. It's on TV.
It's on
Welcome to
TV.
the dog
I just turned my mic off so mine wouldn't.
You're smart. Hey, that's enough. So the receipt, I had gotten in my car twice more and gone and gotten, for some reason I couldn't buy more than 2 wine bottles. I'm not sure what that thinking was, but apparently I could only buy 2 at a time. And there were 6 bottles empty. And that's when I said, I could have killed somebody. I had no memory of going to the store. I can't even imagine what that was like for the people who were in 7-Eleven that night. I don't know how you act when you're completely blacked out, but that's when I said, Tracy, you're just killing yourself slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So either decide to kill yourself or get fucking sober. That's your choice here. You only have 2 choices. If you don't, you're going to kill yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And I went into an outpatient program that, you know, really intense. It was like 9 hours a day. I did it from home. I did that for 8 weeks, I think. It was 2 months. And after that, I haven't had a craving.
Good.
But I do smoke weed.
Yeah. Hey,
Weed is good.
Yeah.
I consider
like
it
to do
part of my
edibles.
mental health regimen. I really do.
Yeah.
And I've had I have a therapist now, and she said I have no problem.
Yeah, I think it's way more accepted these days. And, you know,
Yeah.
I'm in pain clinic for my physical ailments, the erosive osteoarthritis, and I have it like literally in my chart listed as a medication.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I just do gummies.
Is it legal in Utah?
Yeah, medically.
Mm-hmm. Medically, not
it's legal. It's legal for both recreationally and medically in New York too.
Yeah, y'all were one of the early ones, man.
Yeah,
and I'm not even allowed to smoke anymore. The same reason I'm not actually on any like psychiatric medications for anything. I was overly medicated for so long on so many things that actually most of which should have killed me.
Counteracting,
not even the counteracting, but like the fact that I was able to open my eyes was running on adrenaline alone, and like my I actually in my emancipation and in leaving and the 4 years of homelessness it took to get there, it was like getting out of my parents, getting away from all of that. And it's like I talked to my new GP. It's like, how are you not dead? I'm looking at your EKG. It's like, how are you not dead? I'm like, and it's crazy because because of that, I'm not allowed to do weed anymore. Because of the medication induced, like the trauma induced psychosis I did experience. Like I don't have bipolar, but because of the crazy amount of everything along with the constant trauma, it was it's hard to tell what was what. And I did experience psychosis and I did experience mania at many times. Even if it's not like officially bipolar because of it.
Yeah.
And it's a tough one because like I did dabble with weed a few times. I am close with friends and found family that smoke recreationally. It's like I'm not good at it, but at the same time it doesn't hit me the same way. I think I think everyone has to find something that works for them, and for me, like I'm either not allowed. It doesn't either just makes more problems than it solves, or it just doesn't work. So I'm healing from things the old-fashioned way, I guess.
I'm actually considering taking a break, only because lately I've been really emotional when I smoke. That's not the case normally, and I've smoked weed on and off all my life. My parents smoked weed, but lately it's having a different effect. Lately, I've been getting really emotional on it. So something's changed.
Could be part of the bipolar and the meds.
Yeah.
It also could be the current world that we're living in right now and reaction to that.
Politics. And I'd like to say I was microdosing psilocybin before I knew I was bipolar, and that was for my depression.
Did that work for you?
It was working for my depression.
Really curious about psilocybin because I have before what happened with my brother, which neither one of us remember how it started. And I don't have a whole lot of concrete memories from, I have flashes, but I don't have a whole lot of concrete. I heard somebody say in a live the other day, or it was something about Sasha Riley and how he couldn't remember a lot of things. And somebody was saying, "Oh, that's suspicious." No, it's really not.
Trauma.
It's really not.
It's really, really not.
I mean, like the human brain will purposely block out memories in order to function. Like that's the same reason I don't remember the contents of my nightmares anymore, but I wake up knowing that I've had one because my body will respond.
Yeah. And when I have a memory, I've had it. I can't remember the first time that it flashed into my head, probably when I was in my teens. And it's a memory. It's in a specific place at my mom's parents' house, and there's a ring of those old timey patio chairs that were metal framed, and they had that rough what's it called? It's kind of like canvas, the strips. You know what chairs I'm talking about? It's like the strips of that rough material, like they make the bags out of now today.
Burlap, not burlap.
Not burlap, but it's
like a polyester equivalent.
Yes. And that's really vivid in my mind. And so I know when I had the vision, I knew it was my grandparents' house. But I have a vision of a hand reaching around into my shorts, but I don't know who the hand belongs to. And I know it's real. I know it's real. And it would have been before my brother. So it would have been like maybe when I was 6 or 7 or 5 or 6 or something around there. And I can't locate that memory. I can't. I suspect who it is, and I think I'm right about that. But I can't see a face.
Yeah,
so
it's
I have
interesting
thought
how
about
certain senses.
psilocybin to try to get me back to that. I don't know if that's. I don't know what it would do for me. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Have you tried ketamine?
I don't know.
No.
It's a tough one because but the fact that
Turn your
you have that
volume
certain,
up, Brad.
Brad.
Oh, he's still.
I can hear you, but it's really low.
Like that?
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's low.
It's low.
It's low. How low can you go? Yeah,
Got
poor
the
Brad.
bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
So I've thought about trying. I haven't tried hypnosis. I've thought about that. I don't even know if it's important for me to retrieve it. What do you think?
You should try ketamine.
To do what? Hypnosis?
What do you think about trying to retrieve the memory? Does it matter?
Oh,
Honestly, it depends. Honestly, it depends. Honestly, this is actually something I'm working on with my therapist a bit, because my memory is a bit on steroids. Like the way I was able to understand how human memory works is that it's kind of like a poster system essentially. So some people have a FedEx memory, which is good for like names, dates, titles, or language. Some people have like UPS memory that's really good for like sensory information or location or direction. These are the kind of people that are good for muscle memory and stuff like that. Some people have a USPS memory. Bless their hearts.
Slow.
And some people have slow and inefficient, but also some people have like an Amazon or in my case an Amazon Prime memory, which is a vast quantity of memories in long-term storage with a rapid fire recall rate. And that's basically because whether it be all of the above.
PTSD.
Yeah, whether it not even just like with the PTSD, but across the board. Like my autism kind of has that. It's technically considered a form of savant syndrome, but I digress. But regardless, if you have depending on if you find like what kind of memory that you have, whether you have like more sensory information based memory, whether it's like names and dates kind of title memory, regardless if it's trauma
it's
or
clearly
not.
a sensory one given the memory that I have of that.
Yeah, I mean the memory that you have, but also like looking into how you recall memories on a daily basis, you may be able to practice that recall and have an easier time with or without external medications.
That's interesting. My therapist at the moment doesn't do like any of the ketamine or the psilocybin or even any of the hypnosis stuff. So I don't know if it's important for me to recall it or not. I don't know if it would change anything. Like I said, I'm not speaking to my brother now. He's still active in his addiction too.
Yeah, another thing you need to consider, Tracy, is that recalling some of those memories, it could go both ways.
Yeah,
it might be able to help you work through that trauma, or it could just crash
send me into a nosedive. Because the Epstein stuff, I can't read the Epstein files.
Oh yeah, those are. I have a hard time.
I can look at some of the documents that Ellie posts, but I can't go look at the pictures.
The emails are pretty.
Yeah,
it's gross, honestly.
Yeah,
it's just
so
gross.
it's real. I can touch it, but I can't. I couldn't do what Ellie's doing. And I'm a transcriptionist. I'm trained as a transcriptionist, but I can't. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't get that far into the way that these people think. I just can't.
Yeah, and the lengths they're willing to go to justify it all, even crazy. But I digress.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even understand any of it, right? I don't even understand looking at a young girl.
Yeah,
and being sexually attracted.
Right.
So
it's honestly it's
definitely not normal.
It's not.
It's power.
I mean, have you ever felt that, Brad? Ever?
Anything below 40 to me is
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, y'all, it's getting to the top of the hour.
Oh my God.
I know. See, Tracy, it goes by so quick.
You guys,
Tracy,
this
you
has
did
been really
great.
I
fun.
know. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on, Tracy, and telling us your story and sharing, you know, your side of things. Next week we have the topic's going to be declining hormones and mental health. So as women, we all kind of can follow, well, except for Brad, you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know,
hormones
like,
affect
yeah.
hormones affect Brad too. They just don't.
They do.
They
You're
just
right.
don't talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're correct.
there's a second shift for men too, and like
Yeah,
that's it's when your hairline starts receding and your
We
weight distribution
wildly
starts going to the front
underestimate
instead of where it usually goes.
influence of hormones. We
Yeah.
wildly underestimate. People don't
Yeah.
understand.
So-
They turn everything on and off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, next week that's our guest is going to be another friend of mine. Her name's Cameron Hammond, and she's down in Mexico now. Her and her husband retired down there, and she's going to join us from somewhere Mexico, somewhere down there. I'm not quite sure where they're located right now. It might even be Costa Rica. I don't know. Anyway, thanks again, Tracy.
No problem. I've enjoyed it. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. It was really nice meeting both you and Tig. Thank you so much. Sushi, you're a great host.
Thanks to everyone that joined us in the chat, and hope to see you next week.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all take care.
All right. Ciao now.
Good night.